Good morning, everybody. This is Melanie with Lost and Found and lostandfounddecor.com. I'm here this morning to just chat with you guys for a little bit and to talk a little bit about milk paint and how to work with this awesome milk paint chippy finish. And I apologize for kind of the weird light. I'm out here in my garage and the weather is just kind of weird outside. So I look a little yellow on the video right now. So I apologize for that. Good morning, Eliana. Hi, so glad you're here. I'm gonna just wait a few more seconds to see if some more people join us live. I really wanted to try to get as many of us here together live as possible so that if you have questions as we go along, I can be sure to answer your questions in the video. So if you're watching, there should be just a little share button down at the bottom of this video, and if you will just tap that button, that will help let other people know that this is going on live right now. And thank you so much to everybody who shared my finish sanding video, my tip for finishing your pieces video just a couple days ago. I think 88 people shared that video, which is fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody who did. So okay, we're gonna get going, and if some more folks join in, be sure to ask questions. If you miss this live, you can always come back and ask questions later. So what we're working with today is a piece that I have painted in Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint, and it's painted in the color Artissimo, which is a really dark navy and a color that is beautiful, a color that I really, really like. And one of the things that I really like about milk paint is that it will, see how it's flaked off on these spots? I think you guys can see that even with a little bit of glare that's going on. It has done some really good chipping for me on this piece. So how did I get it to do that? Well, that's the thing with milk paint. It just does it on its own. It's incredible. So really, to prep this piece, this is an old Dixie mahogany chest of drawers. Cherry finish chest of drawers. And all I did to prep this, because I wanted to promote some chipping, literally all I did was I wiped it off with a wet rag. And hi Susan, good morning. I wiped it off with a wet rag, and then I did take my orbital sander and I sanded just this top because the finish was in pretty bad shape and it was really flaking off and I wanted it to be smooth. But outside of that, I didn't do anything. I didn't sand anything else. I didn't even use simple green like I usually do to clean and get grease. I just wiped it off, make sure there was no dust and cobwebs. And then 2 coats of the milk paint went on, and it adhered fantastic in every place, except like on the sides. If you could see the sides, there's no chipping anywhere on the sides of this. On most of the top, there's no chipping. On most of the drawers, there's no chipping except just in spots. So these places right here, for whatever reason, it decided to chip. And that is what I personally, I really like that. And I think that it gives you the most authentic, primitive look that you can get, because you cannot get chalk paint to do this. I don't care how much wax you layer on there and all the resist that you do. Milk paint is the only paint that will actually flake off in pieces like this. So, but people will say to me, well, what do you do to stop it flaking? Like, it's just gonna keep flaking everywhere. And so I want to prove to you guys this morning that even though milk paint will sometimes flake and chip, that it is still super, super durable. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna seal this chipping in, and then we're not gonna have any more. Hi, Annie. Annie says she's not a fan of chalk paint. So maybe you can try milk paint if you haven't ever tried it yet. I'd love for you to try it. So, and I can speak from experience. I have a piece, I had a piece that I painted with Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint probably 3 years ago. I kept it in my house for 2 years, and it chipped a ton. All on the sides, it just chipped a ton. I don't know why. And I kept it in my house for 2 years, and I think maybe once, maybe twice, I found like a little piece of paint on the floor. And that's with my boys running around and the pets. And once I put the sealer on it, it didn't lose any more paint. And then I even loaded it up to one of my shops and sold it about 6 months ago, and it didn't lose any more paint in that process. So don't be afraid of the chipping. That does not mean that all your paint is gonna fall off. I promise you that it's still incredibly durable. So I already kind of sanded these drawers here, and that's really how the chipping showed up. Oh, great. That's great, Annie. It's really how the chipping showed up. I just ran my fine grit sandpaper over it, and it just flaked off. So it's that easy. You can even take like a flat putty knife sometimes and run it over, and it'll flake off. And I'm already trying to kind of rub a little bit with my hands, and more of it isn't coming off. But we still need to seal this with something. So I've actually already sealed this top and this piece right here. And I know there's just some there's some glare, so it's kind of hard to see, but I've already sealed this top piece and this side of this drawer right here with hemp oil. Hemp oil is my favorite sealer for milk paint. It is so easy, and I especially like it for the dark colors because it really brings out the richness of their colors. So I've got some hemp oil in a bowl here for you. A little bit goes a long way. It doesn't take much. I'm going to go ahead and paint over this side where this Chippy is and just kind of show you guys this process. So I've got some hemp oil on my brush. This is just a plain chip brush, and I'm just going to brush it over this side of the drawer. Okay? Now, here's a tip. While your hemp oil is on there, you can take, again, your piece of fine grit sandpaper. This is 320. You can get something even finer. You can take this and you can rub it over while the hemp oil is on here. It's not taking off any more of this paint, but what it is it's just really smoothing that surface out. Just gonna give it a good rub. This is called a wet sanding technique with the hemp oil. Okay, and then I've got a rag, an old t-shirt, and I'm just gonna wipe off the excess. Kind of buff it off. And it still takes a little bit to dry. You can see here on my rag, I did get a little bit of paint that flaked off, but not much. And it's it, that's done. And you can go back, I can rub this with my hands, I can flick on it, and there's no more paint coming off. So don't be afraid. People will say, milk paint is not durable, it'll chip, it'll flake off. Well, no, it doesn't. It will in spots, but then it stops. And then as soon as you put something on top of it, it does not keep chipping. And then you get to walk away with this awesome look. So I'm going to go ahead and do this big drawer down here too, just to show you guys. Again, just paint on the hemp oil. So easy. That's why I like to do the hemp oil. It's just, the wax is great. The Miss Mustard Seed wax is fantastic, but the hemp oil, I'm telling you guys, is just golden. And of course you can use it on your wood surfaces. I used it to oil up my kitchen island the other day that has a butcher block top. Really versatile, and one of those little containers is gonna last you for a long time. Okay, so I brushed it on this drawer. The same process, get my fine grit sandpaper, wet sand this drawer. See, but look, there's not a lot more paint coming off, okay? Go all the way over the surface. Ooh, my hand slid right off, okay. And then go back and wipe off your excess. Really give it kind of a good buff. And really, I should be using a dark colored cloth so I don't get any white fuzzies on here, but this was the only t-shirt I could find in time for the live video. So we're gonna go with this white one. It'll be okay. Okay, that's it. It's so simple, so easy. It's gonna continue to dry a little bit more, and while it's drying, it's gonna have a little bit of a reflection, a little bit of a glare, but that will all eventually go away as that paint soaks down that hemp oil, and then you're gonna have a completely finished surface. It's gonna be cured, it's gonna be finished, it's gonna be sealed, you're not gonna have more paint flaking off. All you get is this awesome, great distressed finish. In fact, I'm gonna unhook this and I'm gonna bring it closer so that you guys can try and see some of that really fantastic chipping that I got with this milk paint. And y'all, this whole piece, I think I painted it, I think it took me maybe an hour. It was super fast. Milk paint dries super quickly. Each coat, 2 coats, really no prep to it. And you saw how easy it is to finish it off there. So, of course, if you're local to Dallas, I'm in the Dallas area. I am the Miss Mustard Seed milk paint retailer. I have it in both of my retail locations, Antique Company Mall in McKinney and Lila's Clothing, Decor and More in Plano. I also am hoping soon to have it loaded into my online shop for online sales. In the meantime, if you're not local, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email. If you don't have a local retailer, shoot me an email, melanie@lostandfounddecor.com. That's all spelled out. And just say, hey, I want to try some milk paint. And I'll put you together a box and we can ship it out to you while I'm kind of waiting to get my shop set up. Of course, I have all of my fusion paint already online, but not all the milk paint yet. So I hope that convinced you that it's not as hard as you think, and that even these awesome chippy finishes can be super, super durable, especially if you're painting to sell your pieces. You want to know that when you send it off to your customer, that they're going to be happy with it and they're going to love this finish. And it's oh, okay, so Susan asked, do you have to reapply the hemp oil at any time in the future? I think you can reapply it if you care to over a period of time as you notice the wood may be drying out. But again, I'll go back to that dresser that I had personally that I painted with milk paint. I had it in my home for 2 years at least, and then took it to a shop. I probably had it in my possession for 3 years. I had applied the furniture wax to the top of it, not hemp oil, but the same idea, and I never added any more, and it was completely fine. So for me, 3 years was, just with my one top coat on there, it lasted for 3 years. Now the piece is gone, so I don't know. But if it's ever starting to look dry to you, you can always go back and apply additional product. But you'll start to notice if you get too much hemp oil or too much wax, your surface is going to be tacky, and that's when you know that it doesn't need any more. So if it's tacky, buff off the excess. And then milk paint is so forgiving. It's such an easy to work with and forgiving paint. I would say just to your preference. Apply additional top coats, the hemp oil or the wax in the future if you like. So thanks, Delia. Delia says she likes it. That's great. I know Delia paints lots of milk paint pieces, so glad to see her here. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Again, thank you for showing up. If you've got more questions after, be sure to just write in the comment section. I'll do my best to come back and answer. And please share this video if you found it helpful. I appreciate that so much. That helps me just be able to connect with more folks around and to get out the word about this awesome product. So I'm going to head off, get going on some other things today. We're all a little tired after being out trick-or-treating last night. Everybody's dragging a little bit this morning, so maybe go have another cup of coffee and get going on the rest of the day. So happy painting. I hope everyone is doing well, has a great time. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.